All right, welcome back. We're rejoining Shahrazad as she begins her fifth night, and things are, well, they're as tense as ever. The king is listening, but dawn is just around the corner. She absolutely has to spin a tale so captivating that it stays his hand for one more day. Her life, once again, hangs in the balance. So just to catch you up on the story within the story, remember our fisherman? He's cleverly managed to trick this all-powerful, terrifying genie back into his bottle. Now, the genie had sworn to kill whoever let him out, but the tables have turned. To teach this powerful but kind of foolish genie a lesson about paying kindness with cruelty, the fisherman starts to tell him a cautionary tale.
And this is where Shahrazad's fifth night really begins. The fisherman's story takes us to the ancient lands of Persia and to a great king named Yunan. This king had it all: power, wealth, you name it. But he was suffering from this horrible leprosy that none of his doctors, not a single one, could figure out how to cure. And then, one day, a wise old sage named Ruyan shows up in the city.
So this sage Ruyan walks right up to the king and makes this absolutely wild promise. He says he can cure the king's incurable disease, but, get this, without any drinks, no potions, no messy ointments. All the king had to do was play a game of polo. Yeah, you heard that right. Polo. You know, this sage's method was it was pure genius. What he'd done was he hollowed out the handle of a polo mallet and packed it with his own secret blend of medicines. So as the king played, his hand got hot, he started sweating, and his pores opened up. The medicine seeped right into his skin and spread through his entire body. The cure was literally hidden in the palm of his hand.
So the next morning, the king wakes up, and it's nothing short of a miracle. His skin is totally clear, the leprosy is just gone. He is over the moon. He showers the sage Ruyan with gold, with the finest clothes, and makes him his #1 most trusted advisor. But as you know, that kind of favor, it always makes someone else jealous.
And that someone was the king's vizier. The story says he was an ugly man both inside and out, and he just got consumed by envy. He sees this new bond between the king and the sage as a direct threat to his own power. So he starts whispering in the king's ear, planting these poisonous ideas, suggesting the sage isn't a healer at all, but a spy, who could kill the king just as mysteriously as he cured him.
Now, the king is hearing all this, and it's starting to get to him. But he's not totally convinced. So to push back against his vizier's nasty rumors, King Yunan tells the story of his own. It's a warning, really, about jumping to conclusions and punishing a loyal friend before you know the whole story.
It's such a tragedy. The king only saw a disobedient bird, but the whole time, the falcon was desperately trying to save his life. And in a fit of rage, the king kills his most loyal companion, only to be left with a lifetime of guilt. The message to the vizier couldn't be clearer. Don't be so quick to punish someone who's looking out for you, even if you don't understand their actions.
But the vizier, he was relentless. He heard the king's story and basically said, "I'll see your story and I'll raise you one of my own." And the vizier's story wasn't about a lesson in loyalty. No, it was designed to tap into the king's deepest fears, the fear of a traitor hiding behind a friendly smile.
In the vizier's story, a prince gets lost and finds this beautiful woman just weeping by the side of the road. He feels sorry for her, tries to help her, and it turns out she's a ghoul, a demon, who's just luring him back to her lair so her children can eat him. The vizier's message was simple, and it was absolutely terrifying. The most beautiful face can hide the deadliest monster.
And that was the line that did it. That was the vizier's final, perfect, devastating argument. He took the miracle of the cure and twisted it into the most terrifying threat imaginable. The idea that this man, this sage, had the power to kill the king just as easily as he had healed him, that single thought just shattered the king's trust. And just like that, gratitude turned into pure terror. Trust became suspicion. The king, now totally convinced that his savior was secretly an assassin in waiting, summoned the sage Ruyan, not to thank him, not to honor him, but to have him executed. So now, the sage is facing certain death for a crime he never even dreamed of committing. But he doesn't just beg for his life. No, he's smarter than that. Instead, he plans one last incredible act, a gift for the king that would turn out to be his ultimate, chilling revenge.
He pleads with the king, using this stark prophetic warning. He's echoing the same argument the fisherman is making to the genie, right? Mercy for mercy, death for death. But the king is just too far gone, completely blinded by the vizier's poison, and he refuses to listen.
So then, the sage makes this completely bizarre but totally irresistible offer. He tells the king about this ancient, secret book filled with unbelievable wisdom, but its greatest secrets can only be unlocked after he's been executed, when his own severed head will speak the answers out loud.
Can you believe it? The sage just calmly lays out the instructions for this dark, twisted ritual. And the king, he's so hooked by the promise of seeing a talking head, this supernatural spectacle, that he eagerly agrees. He's so blinded by morbid curiosity he can't see the trap that's being set right in front of him.
So, the scene is set. We're in the diwan, the royal court. The executioner is ready. The sage hands the ancient book to the king, while the entire court just watches, breathless. The king, thinking he's about to witness the greatest miracle of all time, gives the order for the execution to go ahead.
The execution is done. The king takes the book, but he finds that its old pages are all stuck together. Getting impatient, he lifts his finger to his mouth, wets it, and pries the first page open, and then the next one, and the one after that.
He turns 6 pages, and on every single one, there's nothing. They're all completely blank. As the king looks up, confused, ready to ask the sage's head what's going on, he feels this sudden, violent shudder run through his whole body. You see, the sage had coated every single page of that book with a fast-acting, untraceable poison. By licking his finger, the king had delivered his own death sentence. And in that final moment, as the horrifying genius of the sage's revenge finally dawns on him, the king cries out, convulses, and falls down dead.
And with that, the fisherman ends his story. The point he's making to the genie is crystal clear. King Yunan refused to show mercy, and in the end, he received none. The sage simply repaid the king's treachery with an even deadlier treachery of his own. The fisherman is now looking at the genie and asking, which path are you going to choose?
And as the fisherman's voice fades away, we're pulled right back into the royal bedroom. King Shahryar has just heard this incredible, layered tale of wisdom, betrayal, and perfect revenge. He's completely silent, and as the very first light of dawn starts to break through the window, the life of Scheherazade once again hangs by the thread of a single unanswered question.